It's Thursday, July 2nd, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host for today, Jay Scooper, alongside my producer for the next hour and a bit, Mike Bennett, working his way behind the boards, and we have a great show for you today. So much to cover, so much action that's been going on. What feels like this past weekend, but no, it's the middle of the week. It's Thursday. We just enjoyed our Canada Day yesterday, so I'm a little bit out of sorts. Feels like a Monday, but we're back in action and ready to go. Happy Canada Day to all those Canadians out there. Hope you guys had a great day. Hope you watched some fireworks. Hope you spent some time with family and friends. We got a great show for you today. Let's bring up the lineup. We got our good friend Isaac coming on. We're going to be talking some Wimbledon underdogs. Not the best last week. Listen, we bet a bunch of underdogs. 2 hit. We're just down around, I think it was $95 if you bet $100 on each of these underdogs. Bet $100, and then there was a one minus 112 in there. If you bet $100 or to win on $100 on all those, you're down about 95 units. So for the purposes of this stuff, I think we did a pretty good job. Let's try and win today, though, Isaac. I see you in the background. Maybe you're not in the background yet, but let's try and win today. We got a couple more bangers coming in from Isaac. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bangers from Isaac coming in today. After that, we got so many coming on. We're going to talk a little bit of everything. We're going to talk some CFL action. It's been, I believe, we're 3 weeks into the CFL so far, and he's going to give us a little bit of update on what's happening. I didn't know this. I should probably know this as living in Toronto, but the Argonauts don't have a home game till like week 9, week 10, but they're still playing home games, just not in their home arena. That's got to count for something. We'll ask so many about all that. Plus, we'll talk some Wimbledon action, some women's Wimbledon. Talk about some futures. I know so many's always strapped with his futures. Maybe we got a bet for today as well. And then finally, we'll close it out with some NHL talk, free agency, what his Canucks are doing, how sad he is that Gavin McKenna is not a Canuck and he is in fact a Leaf. Hello. All the best to so many. Can't wait to break this one down here today. Do us a favor before we start the show. Smash the like button. It goes a long way here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit that subscribe button. We had a ton of fun 2 days ago. I'm thinking yesterday was a weekend. No. It wasn't last week. It was 2 days ago on Tuesday. We had our World Cup watch along. It was an absolute banger. France, Sweden. We almost swept the board. We needed one more shot from Ousmane Dembele or Doué, because Doué subbed on for Dembele. Shout out to FanDuel on their super sub promo. We just needed one more shot on target. We would have swept the damn board. A bunch of plus money across the board. What did we have? We had, I don't even remember, Olise to score or to get a goal or assist. We had over shots on target, 10 plus, 11 plus, 12 plus in the game. We had France minus 1.5. Barcola, anytime goal. Like we were just firing from the hip. And we were absolutely crushing it. We absolutely crushed the watch along. Myself, G-Stack George, and then our good friend Jacob came in as well. We'll work on when the next watch along is. I'm thinking the USA game. That's what I'm thinking. You guys let us know. You just get France live, France team total live that I bet a little bit too much on, thinking that there was a bad number out there, but it in fact was not a bad number because I was looking at the wrong market, but it still came home. Yes. And Mbappe 3+ shots. Yes. I forgot about that one as well. We were all over the place, and we were hitting a lot of plus money dogs. Shout out to Isaac in honor of Isaac on the watch along. All right. Speaking of the USA, I think that's when we're going to do the watch along. I talked to Jeff. Maybe we can get Jeff in studio. I believe the game will be next Tuesday, if I am correct here, and we'll get all that information relayed to you tomorrow. Before we get into things, though, before we bring on Isaac, the FanDuel was running a great promo on Monday and Tuesday. The 250 to 1. If you did not sign up for FanDuel, you missed out on the opportunity. Because if USA advanced to the round of 16, which they did, and you bet $1 on anything, you get $250 instantly in cash when the USA advanced to the round of 16. But if you missed out, no worries. They are running it back one more time. FanDuel is making the USA's run even more exciting with every match and every goal. There's more on the line than ever. And now new customers can bet just $1 and get $250 in cash if the USA advances. That's right. Bet $1, get $250 in cash if the USA advances. The road to the finals is heating up, and now's the perfect time to get in on the action with FanDuel. Whether you're betting match winners, goal scorers, or same-game parlays, FanDuel has you covered. Visit FanDuel.com/forwardprogress to get started and back the USA's run. That's FanDuel.com/forwardprogress to get started. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas in affiliation, Kansas Hard Casino, 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max wager amount, $25. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/Chattanooga, Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-275-050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts. Call 1-877-8-OPEN-Y or text OPEN-Y in New York. Call 1-877-770-7867 in Louisiana. All right. Let's dive right into things. Can't wait to get this show on the road. Our first guest, you know, you love him. His brother, yes, is the sharpest cat in the game, Winston the Cat. No Winston premiered today, but we got the smart brother here. He's a sports bettor, writing about sports betting, a responsible gaming advocate, and a lover of underdogs. Isaac, welcome to the show.
How's it going? Great to be here.
I'm excited to have you on. I'm excited to talk you through some Wimbledon action, but before we do that, your USA won yesterday. Destroyed Bosnia, dare I say, scored on a red card, but listen, I know you're not the biggest soccer guy. Your striker gets a red card. Are you worried for the next round?
I was out. So I was at New York's doing these public watch parties. So I was out last night at one of them at Brooklyn Bridge Park. It was a great time, although it was hot as hell. I was with a bunch of friends who are much more in tune with soccer than I am. And everybody, obviously, when they announced the red card, everybody's like going crazy. This is horrible. I don't know ball. My friends were like, yeah, that was obviously a red card. And they were like, the guy's an idiot. Why did he do that? Obviously tough. It's, comforting to see that USA is still a very slight favorite, even without Polygon. Look, I'm on USA futures for big. So not exactly what you want to see, although, better that we lose him for this round than the next round. So we're going to get him back eventually. Look, if Trump can do anything, I tweeted about it last night. I was like, where's that good Trump corruption when you need it? Put in the call. Like, let's get it back.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people are saying that with the way the tournament's been called, that shouldn't have been a red card. Like we saw Messi, I think it was in the first match, go right through someone's back. Not even he didn't even get a yellow on that card. So why is Messi getting the benefit of the doubt, but not the damn host nation?
Exactly. I was also seeing that they used the slow motion to inform the VAR, which they're not supposed to do. I don't know. Look, I'm not a ball knower, but all I'm saying is I was with some people last night who are ball knowers, and they were like, yeah, that was for sure a red card. But unfortunate situation. Obviously, nice to bring it home. Solid free kick. Although I saw some analysis, I forget from who on Twitter, that was today. The free kick was solid, but they had no one laying on the ground underneath the wall. And so the wall couldn't jump. And so if Bosnia was smarter, like everybody put someone lying on the ground, then they jump, the shot gets blocked. Goalie probably still should have saved it. But look, we'll take it. A dub is a dub. We're happy to be into the round of 16.
Yeah, Balogun, obviously tough loss for the U.S. Maybe they can make it up in the aggregate with Wright and Pepe for them, but we'll wait and see. Game is at Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, USA versus Belgium. You guys almost got Senegal. Maybe Belgium might be a better draw for you guys with how Belgium's look. They sort of get bailed out in the 120th minute with a penalty.
As someone who was on Senegal for a decent amount, that was not a fun watch. Was really in the feels after that. But obviously I think that we would have been more favored versus Senegal, but I think we're taking it down. I think we're going all the way.
I like the matchup a little bit better, USA versus Belgium than USA versus Senegal, but also I'm not a ball knower, so don't even ask me.
Neither am I.
we're all ball knowers now with the World Cup in town. It is what it is. Anyways, we'll talk some World Cup stuff after Isaac hops off here. We're going to talk some Wimbledon. Like I mentioned, 2 for 7 last time. The guy that you circled on the list though here, what's his name? His name was the Japanese guy. The Japanese Machizuki wins 3-0. Incredible. This guy's a stud.
Yeah, he's a stud. I was actually looking at taking him again today. Not as good of a matchup against Rafael Hodar, although maybe we'll sprinkle it in a little bit. But tough one. 2 for 7. I think down, depending on how you do it, like a little bit because the two were dogs. And we actually got very lucky on Struff there. He was They took a break, and then this morning he finished off. He was down in the 5th set, came back to win. So that was nice. That was nice to get that dub in the second day sweat. But yeah, we got some fun ones today.
Yeah, I'm also going to call Terrence Atmain bad beat because it was suspended. And listen, I wasn't watching the game, but
he had the momentum.
He just won the last set. He was down 2-1, won the last set, had it in his pocket, but the delay crushed us.
Yeah, it was unfortunate there. I also had some plus 1.5 sets on him there, so not a fun way to go out, but it is what it is. You win some, you lose some.
All right, sounds good. Chad is going crazy here, talking about the red card, talking about the USA. They're excited to get in Wimbledon. I will say Colt saying is the most obvious red card I've seen in my life, and I'm 92 years of age. That's a lie. I know Colt. He's not 92 years of age, but hopefully you have that in your
Colt confirmed ball knower.
You've met Colt before.
I believe I know who Colt is.
Yeah, you do know. Anyways, let's get into the picks for today. You got 5 for us. 3 of them are big plus money. One of them a little bit smaller plus money, and then one minus 118 here. Let's start with running it back. Medvedev versus Jean-Léonard Struff. You like Struff at plus 490.
Yeah, Struff's a dangerous player on grass. He's got a big serve and volley game. Medvedev, not the best grass court player, has had some problems. This one actually just moved.
Oh, yeah, it's 385 right now.
All the way down to 385. So I would not take it there. Okay. I'm looking for anything at like plus 420-ish or above there. You should be able to get that. It just bounced down. It was at 490. It's an early line. It should probably bounce back. So shop around, get the best price. But 385 is a little bit low. I imagine that's going to go up a bit.
Yeah, that 490 would have been just about the best price in market here. Market's painted around 400, 420. There's a 448. There's a 500 out there. Doubt how much you can get down on it. If you wait, it literally just ticked. I'm looking at BetStamp Pros right now. It literally moved at 1202. So wicked 10 minutes ago here down to 385 from that 490 that it was earlier. Probably come back, but maybe.
Producer Mike got an early look at the picks and was smashing them, maybe move the lines a little bit. We'll see. Accusations.
No, we can't let those accusations fly. No, I trust Mike. I think he's if you send it to Moretto, that's a different story. But if you send it to Mike, I know he's not betting this stuff.
Oh, Moreto's been harassing me, bro. Every night. Please, I need more picks. After the good French Open, he was like, dude, I need him. But we'll see. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of Struff. I really like this matchup for him, especially at that price. Really dangerous grass court player, and Medvedev has a tendency to just sometimes throw in the towel. He's been really good in the first round. I was actually fading him a little bit in the first round versus Cilic. He played lights out, but he is, the quintessential can just give up and lose to nobodies. And Struff is certainly not a nobody, definitely not on grass. He pulled through for us in the last round versus Nakashima. He had played really clutch in the big moments there, and hopefully he can repeat it against Medvedev this time.
All right, let's run it back. Jean-Léonard Struff. Next match we have here, we're going to look at the Roman Safiullin
versus Fonseca.
3-2 exact. We're looking under the set betting market. We want Fonseca 3-2 at plus 480. Fonseca a little bit of a dog, but you think he's going to drop too?
This is an interesting one. So Fonseca is actually a pretty solid favorite here on the money line at FanDuel. He's minus 295. Safiullin's a strong player, a very dangerous player on grass. He's got a solid serve, solid baseline game. So I was looking at the set spread and something there, but I do think Fonseca has really shown the last couple months in particular. He's got that dog in him, and so I like this. This is a quite a good line. I think decently best in market price here on FanDuel. Kind of a fun sweat. Looking for Safiullin to do well, but then looking for Fonseca to take it home in the 5th. Fun thing about a bet like this, especially if you're betting on Fonseca 3-2 versus Safiullin 3-2, which, by the way, Safiullin 3-2 also best in market price on FanDuel at plus 750, is if this does go to a 5th set, Fonseca should be a solid favorite. So you're basically sweating the over 4.5 sets. And then once you get there, you got the favorite in the 5th set. I'm a fan of this at plus 480. All
right, plus 480 there, Fonseca. We're looking at the set betting market. Exact sets 3-2. Next one we have is Djokovic versus Rinderknecht. Arthur Rinderknecht.
Yes.
Talk us through this one.
This is a fun one. So Djokovic, obviously one of the greatest players of all time. has had a lot of trouble in the last, probably a couple of years, really. You could go back, finishing off guys early. He starts slow. I was looking at the first set money line, but the price wasn't the best. FanDuel in particular often has great prices on the favorites for the first set, but not the best price in the first set here. Then I was looking at the set handicap and very, very happy to get Rinderknecht to win a set here at minus 118. Rinderknecht, big serve, not the strongest ground strokes, but especially the way Djokovic has been playing, dropped a set versus Wu, didn't drop a set versus Tsitsipas, but he can often, just throw away a set or not play his best and plays one bad game, and Rinderknecht can take advantage and break. Rinderknecht's got a really great serve, and so very happy to take this at minus 118. Just to note, there are a couple different markets here that are effectively the same. So you can bet on the set spread at plus 2.5 or Rinderknecht to win a set. Best price is on him to win a set here at minus 118. So I'm very happy on that one.
All right. Rinderknecht to win a set minus 118, or like you said, the set spread plus 2.5. You're looking for better than 118 though, if you do find that. Maybe if you want to shop around for that. But it seems like that's one of the better prices in market right now. Let's flip over and talk Herbert Hurkacz versus Tommy Paul. You like him as the dog here, plus 162. Hashtag wrong guy.
Yeah, favorite. So we were fading Hurkacz in the last round. Unfortunately, that was a close match, and we were on the over, but it didn't come through. Although, still like that pick, especially the over. Almost hit. If it had gone to a fourth, it would have hit. But yeah, Tommy Paul, stronger player here, but Hurkacz on grass is incredibly dangerous. He's had a lot of success here. Two straight set victories in his first two rounds. And in particular, I like this matchup. It's going to be kind of a serve fest, so I'm a fan of taking the dog in this scenario. Hurkacz famously beat Federer in his last match at Wimbledon. He's been out injured, kind of on and off the tour for a little while, but seems to be back in it. And yeah, very, very happy to take this price. And if he serves, I might think this is much closer to a 50-50.
All right, 50 closer to a 50. Maybe hashtag wrong guy favorite as well. Maybe
definitely not hashtag wrong guy favorite. But happy taking this at like plus 150 or above.
All right. Plus 162 here on FanDuel. Last one we got is you're fading the Canadian. How dare you? The day after Canada
Day.
So
this is a funny one. So Michael Jang, actually my sister's class. He just graduated from Columbia. He's 22, American. He's got a great game. I was on him in the first round against Cam Norrie. Then I thought the market really overreacted, and I faded him in the second round, and he came up clutch. That was a close match, but he ended up coming up clutch and winning that one. And yeah, I mean, I think the way he's been playing, Auger-Aliassime, obviously the much better player here, but very happy taking a shot on the young American here. Not just because he's in my sister's grade at Columbia, but yeah, and FanDuel, best price in market here, I believe, at plus 460. So happy. Yeah. Decently best in market pricing. So yeah, very, very happy taking a shot there.
All right, we're gonna take a stab at Zhang.
And then I got one more. I got one more. You inspired me. I was just looking at the numbers. I didn't have Mochizuki on there, and then I just checked. And what can I say? FanDuel's best in market. How can I say no to that? I've been on him for 2 straight rounds now. He came through with us yesterday with that clutch one. Hodar, obviously the stronger player and incredibly hot, and won this morning, but was showing some signs of problems. He came through in 5 sets versus Carreño Busta, who was a big dog against. I think there's like maybe a play here with some kind of handicap as well, but not all the markets are up for this one yet. So we're just going to keep it solid with Mochizuki on the money line at plus 390. I do think, he's a baseline player. Hodar is probably going to be able to dominate those baseline rallies, but Mochizuki's been playing great. Hodar's had some fitness troubles, doesn't have a lot of experience on grass, so happy taking a flyer here at plus 390. Thank you for the shout, Jason.
I got you, brother. I got you. I can get into your mind and see how the gears are turning, and I think we can find stuff together. That is teamwork, and we are making the dream work here with Mochizuki at plus 390 on FanDuel. All right. Isaac, you're heading out here. Any final thoughts? You got any World Cup plays for us? I know you're a little bit of a dog here. You just missed Dr. Congo to advance, by the way. Like Harry Kane, We didn't have the Harry Kane factor mixed in enough. Like, should have turned it up to 11 instead of 10 or whatever you had him ranked as in your mental model here. We were close, couldn't get there. Anything you like for the World Cup? Obviously, we are joking. We're not actual soccer sharps. We're doing this stuff for fun, but it's the World Cup.
Yeah,
Let's do this.
I want to be very, very clear. Definitely not a soccer sharp. So tail at your own risk. Don't think my soccer plays are plus EV. I will say on the last show we got FanDuel had that special boost, the red, white, and blue boost. USA to beat England in the final.
Looking good now.
We're inching a little bit closer there. They had it at plus 1760 or whatever, 177.6 to 1. After the 2 wins yesterday, it's probably down to, whatever, like 120 to 1 or something there. But yeah, just been enjoying it a lot. Let's see, looking through here. I'm on, I think we sprinkled in Capo Verde last time.
Yes, we did, versus Argentina. To advance. Yeah.
Fading. Yeah. I had to fade Anthony, who, he is definitely more of a soccer sharp, and fading some of his stuff. He's been doing great. And I see that line moved a little bit in our favor on FanDuel. I think we got it at plus 1160. Now it's plus 1040.
Yep.
Nothing for me today. We're sweating out the USA futures, and I'm big on Mexico futures as well. I will say, Jason, hopefully you get someone on the show talking about this, someone much sharper than me. But this Mexico-England line, I was looking at it last night, and what doesn't make sense to me is you look, show sponsor FanDuel, right? Right now they got the advanced line at Mexico plus 112, England minus 140. But then you go to the futures market. You got England plus 900, Mexico 2,700. Now, I know, obviously, home field advantage. You got the altitude. This is arguably a good matchup for Mexico, and England maybe fares better against other teams. But I just look at that head-to-head matchup and then the futures market, and I think, once again, as someone who is not a soccer sharp, I think as a bettor, you're just looking for these kind of weird instances, and that matchup and that, disallocation in the futures market is definitely something strange. I hope you got someone sharp on who's going to do a proper run through. I will say that the one other thing on that same thing is, obviously I'm riding USA, but you look at USA versus Belgium. I think FanDuel has the line at, minus 112 USA. Obviously, we don't have Balogun, and we're going to get him back in the next round. But then you look at the futures market, and you got, it's not as big right now. It's USA 27 to 1, Belgium 40 to 1. But I was looking at some other places, and you had Belgium, as high as like 50 to 1, USA 25 to 1 when they're head-to-head about the same. And there, maybe you got the USA futures, a lot of people betting them, maybe the line's adjusted, whatever. But once again, ranting here, not a soccer sharp, but it's very interesting to look at these head-to-head matchups and then kind of start pairing it with some of the futures markets. Obviously, FanDuel's got all the, to reach X round, to reach the quarterfinals, to reach around the semifinals. It's very interesting for me as someone who's not a soccer ball knower to look at all those and kind of intuit some probabilities about how the tournament might play out.
Yeah, no, I think you actually nailed this one here. Also, you can bet USA to reach the quarters, which is the next round, on FanDuel at minus 110, whereas they're to qualify for the next round in the qualification markets is minus 112. So if you click around,
you get a little sneaky. Look, I mean, we love show sponsor FanDuel. I'll say, we always preach the value of line shopping.
Yes.
Make sure you always get the best price,
even within your own book.
Exactly. Oftentimes line shopping is between books, but you got to be a little clever and sometimes line shop within your own book. Once again, going back to that Rinderknecht-Djokovic match on show sponsor FanDuel, you bet Rinderknecht to win a set, you're getting minus 118. I believe if you bet Rinderknecht plus 2.5 sets, you're getting minus 125. So there's no reason to take that minus 125 when you can get the minus 118. So make sure to shop around, know what you're betting, and make sure you get the best price for sure.
Yeah, I think if this line holds here for England at minus 134 to reach the quarterfinals, I think that's probably where I'd lean to versus Mexico, because the real thing that not former soccer sharp, Goon was on the show here. Guy knows ball. We circled this Mexico-England game. We had a feeling it was going to be Mexico-England because it's at altitude. And what people don't understand about altitude is it's actually the biggest effect is recovery time. So it's not about playing in altitude. It's how you play after. you're in altitude. So there might be some issues for the team that wins this match. Maybe they might be a little overvalued in the next match because they might not be factoring in the recovery time here. Before you head out, Isaac, I got to let you go, but Chatter is here every single damn day. His name is Joseph Myers 138. First, it's his birthday, so we're going to both wish him a happy birthday here.
Happy birthday.
His picture is Bo Jackson. He loves Bo Jackson. He's here just checking to make sure there's no Bo Jackson slander. I ask this quite often. I've had this take multiple times here on the show. We talked about it on the show. I always say Bo Jackson is slightly overrated in terms of his on-field production versus his actual production, or versus what people think of him when you think about Bo Jackson, the mythical creature that is Bo Jackson. So I need your Bo Jackson take here today.
So my take on Bo Jackson, obviously before my time, didn't get to watch him. You know, he's automatically a legend, one of probably, if not the greatest athletes of all time. Not the greatest athlete, but one of them. As someone who has, you know, not only in the athletic realm, but in the real world, tried his hand at, you know, a couple different pursuits, it is incredibly difficult to be great at multiple things. And yeah, I mean, he is, I believe, the only pro athlete to be an all-star in 2 major sports, right? I mean, automatic legend status. Yeah, you know, debates about whether he should have stayed at 1. I don't know. But yeah, guy's a legend. I respect anybody who can make the switch and be elite at multiple things, not only because of what the sort of skill it takes, but kind of the incentives. You know, it's hard to switch course. So Bo Jackson lover, you know, shout out and happy birthday.
Yeah, no, I'll push back Ernie Clement's an all-star, but hey, that's neither
really? Okay.
here.
Okay, fair enough.
Here, no, like we're all-stars. Does it really mean? Anyways, it doesn't really mean that much. But no, Isaac, you're right. And hey, who knows? Maybe you could have been a dual sport athlete.
Yeah, gotta go. I'll go watch Goon's last segment. Yeah,
I'll let you know
you
when.
Guys you got some actual ball knowers on the show for World Cup, so I can see who I should tell.
Yeah, speaking of ball knowers, I'm going to be talking the World Cup next. So yeah, maybe you're going to stick around and listen to me. Some goal scorers for you. Sure. All right, Isaac, appreciate you joining the show. We'll chat soon. We'll let you get out of here. You can follow Isaac on Twitter at RoundRobin42. Have a good one, Isaac. Great stuff there from Isaac, as always. Speaking of World Cup picks, we got World Cup picks. Let's bring them on up. Let's bring up the leaderboard first. We made some ground on G-Stack here. Wait. Is that the updated leaderboard? Damn. All right. I thought I was doing better than that. I guess not. Winner yesterday with Harry Kane. Had to complain a little bit in my group chats, just saying we got robbed. How did Harry Kane not get a penalty? What are we doing here? This game is a joke. But we came out pretty good yesterday. Let's look at the picks for today, though. Haven't even seen the picks for today. Let's see what we got here. All right. Let's talk through these. Yes, sir. Rob Pizzola is on. Austria team total under a half, minus 115. Versus Spain is going to be a tough one for them to score. And that's within 90 minutes. Under a half goal, minus 115. That's within 90 minutes. Moretto, looking at the Toronto game here. Portugal and Croatia. Under 3.5, including extra time. There we go. Sorry, minus 188 here. G-Stacks on Spain, halftime, full-time, exact result. I guess Spain to win halftime, Spain to win at full-time, minus 135. Drunken Goon is on Spain, team total over 2.5, plus 132. I'm taking Johan Menzabi, to score a goal or assist. That should say within 90 minutes. I wanted the 90 minutes there. It's plus 150 at 90 minutes, plus 130 within extra time. I'm pretty sure I sent the wrong number there, but we'll clarify here, plus 150, and that's in extra time. Without extra time, 90 minutes. That's the number we're looking at there. Portugal, Croatia, under 2.5 within 90 minutes, plus 112. Spain, Austria, both teams to score in the first half, plus 380. I like that one. Very interesting, TA. Portugal, Croatia, plus 260. Draw for Joey Kanish here. Portugal, Croatia, draw at 90 minutes, plus 260. Kanish could have had so many opportunities to take draws in this knockout stage. Choose the one that's plus 260. Anyways, I want to quickly talk through every single match before we bring on So Money here, who's going to be coming on in a couple minutes. Let's talk through what we have for today. First thing I want to circle is the Portugal and Croatia game. We are in Toronto. It is hot as fuck. It is hot as fuck outside. It's going to rain later today as well, so keep an eye on that. That game might be delayed. How that affects things, I don't know, because the Mexico-Ecuador game got delayed. And I'm thinking here, maybe I should be clicking under. Click, 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 click. Nope. Awful idea to click that under. I got smoked on that one. So I'm not really sure how we should play this if the game does get delayed. But one thing to note is it will be hot as fuck. It's going to be around like 35 degrees, I believe, by the time of kickoff, or expected kickoff at 7 p.m. Eastern time here in Toronto. We'll circle back to the Portugal-Croatia game first. Let's talk Spain-Austria. Not too much to talk about here. Spain minus 1,200 to qualify. They expected to destroy this match. We had the picks just before here that we can recap at the end of the show if you want anything on this game. For me, the hashtag model, not sharp, hashtag model. We're looking at some anytime goal scorers. Couldn't find any clicks here for Spain. I think part of the problem is we don't know if Nico Williams is going to play, and he's soaking up a little bit of equity here in this anytime goal scorer market. But I am looking at Austria's side. Marco Arnautovic, plus 450, anytime goal scorer. 90 minutes plus any injury time only. So we're looking at the anytime goal scorer, 90 minutes plus 450. Make sure you're looking at the correct market here, because in extra time, he's plus 420. I don't think there's going to be extra time in this match. So I don't really think it's worth it to pay the 30 cents there to hope that there's extra time and give Marco Arnautovic a little bit more time to score a goal. If there's extra time, it's because Marco Arnautovic is scoring. So we're going to take the plus 450 here on Arnautovic, anytime goal scorer, lethal striker, back in his day, a little bit older now. But I think he can finish. I think he can finish strong. He's going to need like a counterattack break here. Use some of his old man speed. He's at 34. He was once very fast, not too fast anymore, but maybe he can break away in one little burst and score a goal here. That's all I really have for the Spain-Austria match. I don't think there's anything else that's too interesting here. It's Spain. Let's wrap things up at 3 o'clock and then move on to the next game here. We got Portugal and Croatia facing off against each other. Listen, in my bracket, I took Croatia to win. But like this minus 310 at Portugal to advance really is speaking to me. At the time of making that bracket, Croatia was plus 345 to advance. And I like that. I'm like, that number is calling me. But we've seen such a move towards Croatia now. I'm like thinking, when's the buy point back on Portugal? Because I don't think Portugal is that great of a team, but there is a number that I'm willing to take on Portugal to advance. And we're getting dangerously close to that number. In terms of anytime goal scorer here, we got, let me see. Nuno Mendes, I believe is who I have. Yeah, we got Nuno Mendes to score or assist. What is it? Plus 200. Oh, no, that's João Neves. Nuno Mendes, there we go. Nuno Mendes to score or assist. Plus 200 is what we're looking for here. Left back playing for PSG. So again, my numbers aren't the best on these wide backs who play essentially almost as wingers for their club team in PSG. Hakimi, the same issue I run into. But again, I look through the last 3 matches for Portugal. Mendes has so many touches in the opposing team's third. I love the plus 200 here to score or assist. Has scored previously in the tournament. I do like that. Final game we have here, Switzerland, Algeria. Let there be goals in this one because Mendes, my goodness. Sorry, did I say Mendes? I meant to say Zidane. Excuse me, Zidane. My goodness, goalkeeper for Algeria. If he even is the starting goalkeeper today, who knows? Their backup is a lot worse. I'm leaning towards Switzerland for a lot in this one. I qualitatively added like a little bit of a bump to Embolo, anytime goal scorer. He is right now on FanDuel plus 145. He was plus 150 before. I had him at plus 174, so I did play him at plus 150. That's just like a mental qualitative bump for how bad these Algerian goalkeepers are. I also, like I mentioned before, Manzabi plus 150 to score or assist. Now, I didn't get a ring for that one in the model, in the hashtag model that's not very good. But just watching him play, I think he has a real impact on this team's attacking quality, and I think he's gonna, like I said, with how poor Zidane is, or other Algeria goalkeeper. I don't even know who he is. With how poor he is, I'm taking him at plus 150 to score or assist. So that's Manzabi plus 150 to score or assist. Oh, it's plus 145 now. All these things have moved slightly a little bit, but I would still take these at plus 145. So to score assist plus 145 for Manzabi and Brielle and Bolo plus 145 anytime goal score. These are all within 90 minutes. I don't see this one going to extra time. I think there's going to be a ton of goals in this one. Maybe you want to take a stab at the over, but I'm going to have some more fun and play some anytime goal scores. Finally, the last one we have. Bet this guy every single damn game. Ricardo Rodriguez, 11-1, anytime goal scorer. That's what we're looking for here. With how good Algeria's attacking quality is and how good Switzerland is, I think, like I said, there's going to be goals. So we are live for Ricardo Rodriguez for potentially getting subbed out for someone who's really good. Plus, Ricardo Rodriguez plays up the pitch, attacks in that left back role. He's not afraid to sort of be let roam free. So we're going to take a stab again on Ricardo Rodriguez. 10-1 now, anytime goal scorer. All right. If you guys have any other plays for the World Cup, you let me know in the chat. Very interesting stuff happening in the chat here. Charles is asking Isaac, who's in the chat right now, are we queuing up a Zverev fade? I think Girons live to beat Zverev. You're going to have to get in the chat to see the conversation that's happening right now. All right, let's get into our next guest. Before we do that, though, do us a favor, smash the like button. It goes a long way here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit that subscribe button. I don't know if you know this, but yesterday Circles Off dropped a video on the YouTube channel. But also, we have another video today, live. I'm assuming not. I got to double check what time it is. But there will be a Circles Off video. Circle back video, live. Don't know what time it is. Maybe if we can mention in the chat what time it's going to be. I doubt it's normally at 4 p.m. Eastern time, but again, with the World Cup, things are shifting. So I'm not sure if the Spain game is going to affect things. Maybe they start at 4:30. Maybe they start at 5. I know I know Jacob is a lover of soccer. So it's going to be an awesome crew for today. But we'll see what time they are going to be live. It's Kanish, Isaac, and Thon. Great cast. Yes, 4 p.m. Eastern time today. Wow. Shout out to Jacob, gritting through, missing some Spain, Austria, to give you guys the good content. If that doesn't deserve a like, I don't know what does. Anyways, let's get into our good friend So Money. We've made him wait in the back long enough. He's a tortured Canucks fan, tennis knower, CFL knower, all around ball knower with the best hair in the game. What a hair day for the show. What a damn hair day for the show. So Money Sports. We'll see if he's muted. So Money, how's it going, my friend? He did it on purpose. He did that on purpose. I think, maybe. Did he do that on purpose? I don't know if it's a bit or not. Yeah, we don't know if it's a bit. So Money just loves to come on and be muted every single time. Is it a bit? Yeah, he is. This is crazy. Oh, my goodness. And I gave him a little bit of time, too, a little bit of a preamble there going through every single game for today. Sounds like he might be good now. So Money, are you back?
Am I good?
There you go. There we go. I'm guessing that the reason why you were muted was in protest of the NHL for not awarding the Vancouver Canucks the first overall pick.
No, the reason I was muted is because you made me wait so long before I was able to come on.
I'm sorry. My apologies. I did not know that. That's my fault. I am trying to buy you time to make sure that you're not muted, and then you end up being muted because I was going too long. It falls on me. Where do you want to start here today? We can go one of 3 ways. We can talk, I guess 4 ways. I didn't even prep you for World Cup. If you have World Cup stuff, I know you're always playing everything. You love a look at the board. We can go Wimbledon futures. We can go some CFL. We can talk World Cup. We can talk NHL free agency. Where do you want to start here? What's on front of your mind?
Let's do all of it. So let's start with the World Cup. I do have World Cup plays. Just put in a little while ago. So Austria, Spain, I've got over 2.75, over 2.5 up to 2.75. Croatia, I don't think they're going to score a goal today. I've got them under 0.5 goals, plus 160 or something like that. Down to plus 150, it's fine. It's widely available. And Algeria, Switzerland, I think there's going to be a bunch of goals in that game. So I've got over 2.5, plus 130 there.
I love that. I love the over goals in that game. I really think that, like we talked about, the Algerian goalkeeper stinks. Whoever it is, if it's Nepo Baby Zidane, if it's the other guy who I don't even know his name, does he deserve for me to know his name? He sounds like he's an awful keeper. That's all I know based on the last game they played versus Austria, giving up 3 in a game where it should have just been a sleepwalk to a draw. So let's recap that one more time. It was the Croatia under a half goal at around plus 150, plus 160. Austria, Spain, total, we're taking the over of that in that 2.5, 2.75. That's minus 154 right now on FanDuel. And then the last one, you're looking at the over in the Algeria Switzerland game, 2.5 plus 122.
Yeah.
All right, perfect stuff there. Plus 122 on the over in that game. Wow, calling my name.
Yeah, those a move on the under earlier too, but
I might be going out and playing 3.5, 4.5. I'm gonna be playing alts. We'll see. I'll have to take a look at that at the end of the show. I've just been focusing on my goal scorers, like you heard in the back there. So many. All right, World Cup out of the way, quick and easy. What's next? You want to go Wimbledon? Maybe let's do a little CFL primer here. Give me an update on the CFL. The World Cup sucks up all the oxygen. I didn't even realize Wimbledon started 3 days ago, and then I was like, "Whoa, Wimbledon's starting! That's crazy." We're on week 5, heading into week 5 of the CFL. Talk me through what's been happening so far.
Yeah, so a couple of surprises here. BC Lions, big things were expected from them, but their defense sucks and their special teams suck. Offensively, they're good. Nathan Rourke has been lights out, even through the offensive injuries that they have. They're in a situation right now. They're playing in Kelowna this week. So usually you would think a BC Lions game in Kelowna would give them a lot of home field, but they played against Calgary last week. It wasn't the case. There's a lot of Albertans in Kelowna and a lot of Albertans that travel to Kelowna as well. So I don't think that they'll have as much of a home field advantage as we thought that they would in Kelowna. That being said, the Elks are favored. They're up to -2 in some spots. I think that's already been adjusted for the way that this season has started. BC has looked terrible. Edmonton has looked good. We saw signs of them turning things around last year, at the end of last year, and I think that has come into fruition. However, we've gone too far here with the number. So I do like BC Lions money line. You can even wait a bit on this one. You'll get plus money on this later in the week as well. So BC Lions I like on the money line. Another bet that I'm looking at and I will be playing is the Stampeders, -1 to -1.5. You can get that in that range. Toronto is good offensively, but I think that Calgary's slow start, they got off to a slow start, which is deflating this number. And I do think that their win against BC, they showed a lot of signs of what I expected from them coming into the year. So I think that they're on their way to turn things around. And I think that they're one of those teams that could surprise this year. So I do like Calgary at a short number, because if they played this game a month from now in Calgary, we're not going to be able to get one or 1.5. So 2 plays this week so far, Calgary and BC.
All right, Calgary at -1.5, -105 versus the Argonauts here at home, and then BC Lions we're taking it's right now -102. But you said you think we can wait and get a potentially better number on that, so we got to pay attention to that throughout the week. That game's on Saturday, so mark that on your calendar. Make sure if you're not playing it right now, you do remember to play it. One thing I want to ask is the CFL, they changed their rules. They wanted to speed up the game, have more touchdowns, and sort of improve the game here. They started this 2-year rule-changing process. We're in year 1. Have you noticed any different in terms of pricing of the totals or outcome of the game, or is this something you kind of just want to keep close to your chest? I see you smiling. You can listen. You don't have to talk about it with me. I know I don't want to ruin your edge here, but if you can talk about it, what can you say?
So I can talk about it, and I will talk about it,
Okay.
just because I'm a man of the people.
You're the best.
So going into the year, we did expect a lot more scoring. That has come into play. We're seeing high scores all around the league. Now, it has been adjusted though, right? So you look at the totals this week in the 4 games. We got a 61.5, we got a 57.5, another 57.5, and another 57.5. So all 3 games, all four games are over 57. So it's already been adjusted. These same games earlier in the season were being lined at what they were previously in previous years, which was 51, 52, right? So we're already seeing an incredible adjustment here. So I think at some point we're going to hit the wall on these totals. I don't know if we're there yet, but we are. It does look like we're nearing the end here. So, overs have been hitting. If you want to do it this week, you can. Just be careful. But I think at some point when we're consistently into the high 50s, low 60s, I think that we're going to be coming back the other way on these totals.
Dude, these totals are looking like Pac-12 after dark, like 60 and a half, 57 and a half, like crazy numbers. And you said there, like a full touchdown adjustment is like crazy. You rarely see that mid-season, but kicking myself for not like taking advantage. I feel like I made a note somewhere in like September to be like, hey, remember, CFL's changing the rules, and completely missed it with the World Cup's oxygen being soaked up. Last thing I want to touch on with the CFL, you mentioned the BC Lions. They're playing in Kelowna. BC and Toronto sort of get the short end of the stick here, not being able to play in their home stadium because it's being used for the World Cup. Have you noticed that affecting anything? Are you like bumping down the home field for these teams? How are you sort of like navigating that?
Yeah, so I made a mistake because I had Kelowna as higher on the home field rating than I should have. I didn't take into account that. I mean, with what I mentioned earlier, with they're playing Calgary and Edmonton. If it was anybody else besides the Alberta teams, I think I would have been okay. But I lost on BC against Calgary there. Toronto, I don't really see them affecting them. I think that the thing with Toronto is that if they get through this stretch with these road games, and if they're still above water, which I believe that they will be, once their home schedule kicks in, I think that Toronto's going to be live for the Grey Cup. But we're not there yet. So Toronto is a team that I'm looking out for in terms of how they can navigate this portion of their schedule. And if they get through it, we'll have Grey Cup futures on them.
All right. Right now to win the Grey Cup, plus 650 for the Toronto Argonauts. Let's flip over and talk some Wimbledon action. Anything you like on the men's or women's side, whether it be plays for today, some futures. We obviously for the futures, games are happening right now. So for the men's, we only really have the futures for the winner and the to reach semifinals for quarter two. For the women's future, for the women's side, we only really have the top half of the bracket that we can talk about in terms of to reach the semifinals or to reach the finals, whether it be to reach semifinals quarter one, quarter two, or to reach the finals for the top half. But we have outright markets for women's futures as well. Anything you like here, Ego, with a little bit of she wasn't sweating in her last match, but that was a match we circled where we could have seen an upset and we could have seen someone go on a run there. But anything you like in terms of Wimbledon futures?
I do. An outright winner on the women's side. I think that she's still. I wanted to see how she started her Wimbledon campaign here before I bet her. Amanda Anisimova plus 1100 you can get. What I like about her is that she mentioned after her first round matchup that she went back. She was feeling burnout, and she went back to the States. I did like her going in, but I didn't understand why there was a change in her schedule like that. Why she would go back to the States. But she explained it after her first round matchup. It was to do with she felt burnout. Normally, I mean, you could look at that two ways. You could look at that as okay, so she's not feeling it. The way that I look at it is that I think that it's great. I think that she acknowledged and she identified that she wasn't feeling it, so she went back home. I think she got her head right. I think she got herself right physically, and she's back. And she came back to Wimbledon. So once I read that interview, or once I saw that, and I saw that that she's fine the way that she's playing. I think that she's undervalued in the outright markets here. So I did bet Amanda to win to win Wimbledon.
All right, Amanda to win Wimbledon. We're taking that at 11-1. Anything from the men's side or any matches? I know there's a bunch of matches happening right now, but anything you have for matches upcoming or nothing you're really seeing flash?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I haven't. Women's side takes priority all the time, and I haven't really gotten into the men's side because of the World Cup. So it's just been a timing issue. So women take priority, and it's been the World Cup too.
All right. Let's talk about what I was most looking forward to when you came on the show here. We got NHL free agency, and oh my God, was it an absolute banger from the Werenski smoke and steam? And then all of a sudden, no, he stays. Matthew Nye is getting names getting thrown left, right, and center, but no. Sounds like he is staying as well here in Toronto. Your Canucks were able to acquire a first-round pick. Good for you guys. That's huge. That's important. Where is this team going? Talk to me about the Canucks. How are you feeling? What are the vibes in Vancouver? I know everyone's focusing World Cup, but I was keeping my eyes glued to that NHL free agency. Talk me through Vancouver, then we'll talk some broader free agency stuff.
So yeah, if you remember at the end of last year, I was very down on the Canucks. They weren't very nice to me last year, and just when I think that I'm out, they have pulled me back in. Um, I like how they cleaned house.
Mm-hmm.
I like that there is a focus on. It's such a buzzword in sports, but it does matter, and that's culture.
Mm-hmm.
We all knew at the end of last year. You don't even have to follow the team closely that there was significant problems in that dressing room, and it started at the top. You had just from the way that the year started with Quinn Hughes, and you had Adam Foote, who has no idea what the fuck he's doing. So you started with that, and that just bled into the whole year. So I think that cleaning house was big. I love the hiring of Malhotra. He is not as revered, obviously, as the Sedins, but he's pretty much up there in terms of his career arc and the way that we feel about him, and also what he did in Abbotsford as well. And then, of course, you have the Sedins. So Ryan Johnson was a good hire. So I think that the team is headed in the right direction. I feel confident that in terms of what I'm hearing from them, that this group gets it. Much more so than the previous regime. So I like the aspect of blowing it all up. In terms of the draft, so I'll be honest, I thought that the Canucks should not reach for a Caleb Malhotra at 3. I thought that that it would put unnecessary pressure on the kid, and I didn't see an upside there. However, I may have been wrong, and I'm conceding that everything that I'm hearing from that camp, they're going to do all of this very professionally and very on board. They're both very tons of integrity. There was a story that I read that Manny did not even want to know where the Canucks had Caleb ranked. He would leave the room every time there were draft conversations. So that kind of integrity I value a lot, and I think that kind of stuff is very important. So for the Canucks, no, they're not going to make the playoffs next year. But I like what they're doing in terms of changing the culture in that room. That starts with guys like Brendan Gallagher. It starts with Luke Shen. So I think that the team is headed in the right direction.
Yep. I don't hate the moves from the Vancouver Canucks. I will say I'm a little sad they didn't clean house a little bit more. It feels like the same regime is still kind of in there, but we'll see how they handle things. Maybe with Ryan Johnson as their new GM, he'll lead them a different way than what we had previously with Patrick Alvin. Caleb Malhotra, I don't know if you were watching the show or keeping up. We were banging the Caleb Malhotra jump. We said, no, F you to market steam. I have no information on this. All I know is that the Vancouver Canucks were high on Caleb Malhotra before the NHL draft, even the draft process even started back in January. They talked about him as like, there were some words floating around that he was like the number one guy on their board. And at the time, given McKenna had an awful first half of the season, so let's not like take away too much from that. But they obviously really liked Malhotra. And yeah, like you said, I don't think it was a reach. I think it was the right move based on how far Chase Reed did end up slipping. Like usually a lot of people like to say these GMs are not smart guys, but like there's a market here. There's a draft market. There's a consensus. And it seems like the consensus didn't really like Reed as much as everyone expected.
So full disclosure there, I did bet Reed going number 3 to the Canucks.
Thank you. You got us a better number.
Sorry. Well, I mean, yeah. So not sorry. So good for you guys.
Sorry.
Yeah. But
I'm sorry.
And yeah. So like I did feel that the Canucks would go with Reed. I was wrong, but I was also encouraged in a sense with how much farther Reed dropped. I think that we tend to forget sometimes that we do know a lot and sometimes we do know more than the GMs, but these are people that have devoted their life to like scouting these kids. And even though I thought that Reed would go number 3, him dropping was really I don't want to say a red flag, but really kind of brought into focus that that I may really have been wrong on Chase Reed. So we'll see how it plays out with stuff like this. Let's talk again in 8 years and let's see where we are.
Exactly. It's hard to project out these players where they're going to be and what they're going to end up being. But one thing it is a little bit easier to project out is how some free agent signings are, because considering we know these players, they're 28, 29 years old when they end up hitting unrestricted free agency. Any big moves that shocked you? Anything that you were happy for? I want to leave this open-ended. I just want to know, like, NHL free agency, I say that word, what's at the front of your mind? Try and we can keep it Canuck-centric if you want. We can talk about around the league. Is there any teams that are maybe like a little bit higher than you're expecting based on market right now? Are there teams that you're lower on based on market? Talk me through this.
So the first thing that stood out when I was going through all the contracts was what Jacob Trouba got with the Sharks. And at first I was like, what are these guys doing? And then I thought, who cares? They have so much cap space. They have a team that is young, and he's the kind of guy that can really we talked about culture earlier. He's the kind of guy that can set the tone in that dressing room as well. So yes, they overpaid if you're just looking at the numbers, but in terms of the intangibles he can bring, I think that how do you put a price on that, especially on a young team like that? So at first that stood out, but the more I thought about it, I'm fine with that. In fact, I'm fine with everything that the Sharks are doing.
So Money, quickly to cut you off, I fully agree with you. We were talking about this in our group chat, in our Hammer group chat. Rob and Alex are like very, very much against me, and I completely respect their opinion and where they're coming from here, right? But like looking at at San Jose's cap right now, they have $17.8 million in cap space. Their highest paid forward right now is Logan Couture at $8 million, who hasn't played in 2 years, and his contract is up next year. He's off the books next year, and that paired with the amount that the salary cap is expected to increase, I don't really think that Darnell Nurse and Jacob Trouba are as hampering of deals as a lot of people are making them out to be.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think that you're right with the way that the cap is going up. I think that we need to keep that in mind as well. And they're just structured and positioned so well moving forward. So I don't care that the money that Trouba got. The other thing that stood out for me was I don't know how much you're going to like this, Jason, but the Leafs reaching for Bob like that. I will give him a bit of a pass in the sense that last year I'm willing to just wipe the slate clean last year. I'll give him a pass. I'll give everybody a pass. That's totally fine. But I don't really understand where the Leafs are going. I think that in their development right now, I know this is becoming a situation where it feels like everything is based on making Austin Matthews happy and making him stay. And I was right there with Quinn Hughes last year, right? You can't build and you can't go on your development arc based on keeping one player happy, because it rarely works out. And now you've kind of taken a couple of steps back, which is what happened with the Canucks. So I don't know that they needed Bob. And I don't know that they need to be making this kind of push right now when realistically Gavin McKenna still might need a year or two. And whatever happens with Austin, like that, you can't control that anyways. Like usually players already have their mind made up about what they're going to be doing after their contract is up.
All right, we're going to mark this down, and we're going to revisit this at game 25 when you are all over the Leafs again. Listen, so Money, I am seeing a 60-1 for the Leafs to win the cup out there. Have you ever last year they weren't even 60-1 to win the cup. Like, this team today is significantly better than last year, and you're telling me I'm getting a better price? Are you kidding me? Plus, you have Gavin McKenna. Plus, you have a properly built-out bottom six. I was super critical of the Joseph Woll trade. I'm not all over here saying every single move that the Leafs have made have been good trades. They've made some pretty bad trades, in my opinion, in the Chaika era. There's a couple that I wasn't too happy with, but that Nick Paul acquisition was, oh my God, was that not Chef's kiss. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful acquisition. The one thing I love about this team so many, just to push back on you here, they have a clear identified bottom six. And everyone's like, oh, the offensive impacts of these players, it's not good. If they want to compete, you need depth scoring. Guess what, so money? The last 10 years, we've had guys with great offensive impacts in the bottom six. Calle Yarncrook, he was solid offensive impacts. That guy scored 2 goals for us in like, what was it, 30 playoff games? I'd rather have the guys who are actually have a carved out role and can play solid defensively, giving our best players, some of the best players in the NHL, time in the offensive zone. And you know what? If these guys fart into the net and score a goal or two in the playoffs, they're right there with Calle Yarncrook. Like, I am over the moon with what we did. Sure, maybe we overpaid guys, maybe by an extra $1 million. Maybe we gave Brandon Duhaime an extra year when we didn't really have to. Maybe who is it? Colton Sissons shouldn't have made 4, and it probably would have been better with him making 2 or 2.5 or even 3. But I don't care. This bottom six, that is something. That is something, so money, and I'm excited for this year.
Okay, so a lot to unpack here. So you're talking about the bottom six. I don't disagree with you. But does the bottom six win Stanley Cups?
Yes, absolutely. When you have star power like this, plus on top of the fact, so money, where were the Leafs last year in terms of defensive impacts?
Oh, they weren't good defensively.
They were the worst defensive team in the league, right? Where was Austin Matthews playing a lot of the time? In the defensive zone. We solved that issue of Austin Matthews playing in the defensive zone. We no longer have to rely on John Tavares or Austin Matthews to play any minutes in the defensive zone. I'm fine with either of these lines playing a defensive role. On top of that, if you're stuck in the zone versus the other team's best competition, you can actually play defense well in your own zone with those guys. Guess what? Now the third and fourth line have to deal with Austin Matthews. Now the third and fourth line have to deal with William Nylander, Matthew Knies, John Tavares. And I'm not even mentioning the fact our power play is going to be better. Sorry, go ahead.
I think that I think the assumption that Gavin McKinnon is just going to step in and make an impact, I think that's dangerous. Even if what do you do if he gets off to a slow start? Or what do you do if he gets off to a fast start and you're expecting a rookie to have that last for 84 games this year? Right. I think that that would be a concern for me. I know that they're going to give him every opportunity to succeed. He's going to be playing with Austin Matthews, and which is the way that it should be. But I think that we may need to temper our expectations there a little bit, and also just the assumption that Bob is just going to bounce back. We've seen, again, I said earlier, I'm willing to give him a clean slate. That being said, I don't think you just go from the worst defensive team to something that even middle of the pack where Bob can be what you need him to be in the regular season. I mean, playoff Bob we know that's completely different, right? So we're expecting a lot from the Leafs right now. We're expecting a lot from them defensively. I'll give you the bottom six, and I think that we're expecting a lot from McKenna as well.
When you have major surgery on a roster like the Leafs did, basically, essentially cutting out almost 8 to 9 players and replacing them, I think you can, especially with the guys who they replace them with, in that they all have strong defensive impacts except for Jack Roslovic and maybe Darren Radish, but Darren Radish is a good puck retriever. You could say that his defensive impacts might be a flash in the pan last year where he was decent and not a huge negative versus the guys that went out. I don't know. I think you can make that case.
Look, I want the Leafs to succeed. I think that it's better for the league if Toronto is good. I think that watching the Vancouver people melt down over any Toronto success, I think it's irrational and I think it's funny. I like Toronto, and I would like the Leafs to succeed. So I just think that we're putting too many assumptions here on things going perfectly.
Yeah, that's fair. Listen, of course, I'm going to be a little bit rose-colored goggles with this Leafs team, but how can you not? I watched this team almost every single game last year. It was hell. It was awful. It was terrible. There's one thing that this team will be next year, and it'll be fun to watch. It will be we'll finally get some good hockey. And I'm clicking. There's a 60-1 out there, and that is wrong. So money. That is so wrong. You go look at the teams that they're around. They're around no disrespect to these teams, but I think they were around like the Rangers. Oh my God, it's just like awful who these guys are around. Anyways, Blue Jackets were around them as well. Like, you're telling me the Blue Jackets have the same shot as the Leafs to win the Stanley Cup? Are you freaking kidding me? Whew. Anyways, final thought on this: Sergei Bobrovsky. People were out on him before. The first 2 years of his Florida deal, 900 save percentage, 906. There was talks of Florida, or not Florida, but a lot of fans wanted him gone. He made $10 million. They said they were willing to eat half of his cap hit. $5 million for the next 4 years or 6 years, 5 years, just to not have him on the team. Well, fast forward a couple years, he ends up winning them a goddamn Stanley Cup. And if Connor McDavid did not win didn't win the Conn Smythe. Thank you. Didn't win the Conn Smythe. I think Bob was potentially live to win the Conn Smythe there. But anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Okay, I will tell you this: if the Leafs make the playoffs, I will bet futures on the Leafs.
Okay, all right, I love it. Remember, and I want to remind everyone who's saying I'm a homer. I bet the Leafs to miss the playoffs last year.
Oh yeah, no, it's not about being a homer, and it's not being a Vancouver guy that hates Toronto. If you've like listened to me for any period of time, like you know that like I actually have an affinity towards Toronto and the Leafs and stuff. So I mean, I've bet many Leafs futures over the years, thinking that this is the year. So it's nothing about that. It's just that we just got to look at these things with analytically and just the way that we see it objectively.
All right. So Money, any final thoughts before you head out here? Anything you got for us?
No, really. Let's get these soccer plays in. And I haven't bet baseball much this year. Usually I shut it down closer to the All-Star break. But it's happened earlier this year. So I haven't since early June, since the World Cup started, I haven't been betting baseball. So
all right. So Money, appreciate you joining the show. You can follow So Money on Twitter at So Money Sports for all of your Vancouver Canucks takes. We got the guy right here. So Money, appreciate you joining the show. Happy to talk to you. We'll chat soon.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks, Jason.
Great stuff there from So Money. As always, please do us a favor. If you can, smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit that subscribe button. And please, leave that 60-1 out there. That's mine. That is mine. E. Cole in the chat. Ovechkin back to Washington. And I will say that's a darn deep forward group, 1 to 12. Like that fourth line being Boone Jenner, Justin Sourdif, and Anthony Beauvillier. Listen, they don't have the high end talent, but I love where your mind is going. Caps will win the Metro. Protas, Strome, Ovechkin, Tuch, Dubois, Kyrou, Leonard, Protas, the second Protas, Wilson, Jenner, Sourdif, Beauvillier. I like this group. I like this group a lot. Maybe Ryan Leonard can come into form and be a top-end player. Maybe one of the Protas brothers can do that. I don't know where the hell they find these guys. Anyways, we'll talk some more NHL maybe tomorrow if we get some more updates. Tons of players still available. We also got tons of NBA movement that we'll be talking about. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to be notified every single time we go live. We'll be live again tomorrow here on the network. Before we head out, I know you saw me quickly clicking through stuff and you're wondering, how the heck is this guy able to pull odds so quick and find it without a beep? It's simple. We got our good friends at BetStamp Pro to do that here for us. And you're going to want to sign up for BetStamp Pro because it's a great product. If you're serious about betting props, the hardest part isn't finding an edge, it's scaling it. BetStamp Pro is built to grow your volume and ROI. Every player prop and alternate line across 200 plus books on one screen in real time. They're all priced against BetStamp's True Line, which is a proprietary model weighted per market and prop type, bias corrected, producing the most efficient, sharpest props pricing reference in the industry. Catch off-market props the second that they appear across more markets and more alt lines than anywhere else. So you can get more money down at a bigger edge more often. Scan the QR code on screen or use the link in the description to apply. QR code on screen, link in the description, betstamp.pro. Betstamp.pro/the hammer. Wow, that was a tough one to get out. Joseph, happy birthday. For your birthday, you got some Toronto talk. I told you to wait on that 60-1, but I promise you, if you click it, you're going to be thanking me come this time next year. Gavin McKenna. He's a Leaf. He will be a future Stanley Cup winner. Bob Bobrovsky with his third Stanley Cup win. Oh, it's going to be glorious. It's going to be glorious here in Toronto. Anyways, appreciate you guys tuning in. You are the best. We love you all. Shout out to our good friend So Money for coming on the show. Shout out to Isaac for coming on the show. Quick reminder, if you want to go recap those picks, go fast forward to rewind to earlier in the show. Shout out to Mike, keep things clean behind the board. Shout out to you guys. Happy birthday, Joseph Myers. One more time, give him a big happy birthday in the chat. Shout out to all you chatters, TX Supreme, Jojo Nono, E Colt. Is that a first chatter? Jojo Nono. I know one in here. Arbitrage. Come over to the Discord. We can talk about that in the Discord. Appreciate you guys tuning in. That's it. That wraps up today's show. This has been the Thursday, July 2nd edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. We'll see you guys right here on the show tomorrow.